Right, guys. Right, I'm just watching a lot about this winter fuel goings on in the UK and everything else, and saying the pensioners will die and all the rest of it. Now, the only reason that they'll die is because they're not prepared. The UK is not cold. Um, I live in Bulgaria, and we, get down to -30, or generally -10, -12 on a lot of the winter, and there's no reason why you should die. And that doesn't say that the political thing doesn't exist, and it's unfair taking away the heating uh, payment, but like it doesn't mean you have to die. That's uh, that's the first thing I would say. Absolutely, there's no reason why anyone should be dying if you do it right. Now, a lot of people in Bulgaria, I mean, can't afford things, and they have much lower pensions than UK, but they're prepared. They're prepared, and I have diverse heating here. I'd never even considered dying of the cold, even without any money. Right. So why do I say that? Well, I've kind of I've worked all my life outdoors in the construction industry, and you develop a knack of keeping warm. And the best thing to keep warm is not to get cold in the first place. That's number one. If you let yourself get cold, and you sat there just getting colder and colder, that is dangerous. So don't do it. And there's plenty of ways, and it's all affordable on how not to get cold in the first place. I think that's where a lot of people might get into difficulties. So I hope this information will will help with that. And don't just sit there like saying, I'm going to get cold and look at me, I'm dying. No, that's not the way to think about it. Think about it as if no one's coming to help you, so you can get warm. And I think in the UK, you could get warm just by clothing alone. It might sound a little bit extreme, and you know, you shouldn't have to do it. Well, why shouldn't you? It's cold. That's not how they would think about it in Bulgaria. Why should I get cold? Well, they would think, how do I get warm? And a big thing here is, I mean, people move into one room in the winter, and they have done for many, many years, and that makes it a lot easier then to keep everything warm, keep everything going. And that's what I do here. I live and sleep and eat and cook all in the one great big space. In the summer, I can go to a different bedroom if I want to. But this summer I actually haven't, because the same room is actually the coolest in the summer. So I basically just live in one great big space, which that's how I do it. And it's no hardship. But in the winter, I would say there's various things you can do, and if you're short of money, the first thing you want to do is get an electric blanket, because they're like economical. And the place where I sleep, I never used it last year because it was warm enough. The second thing I would say is down, 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 down. Get things with proper down lining. I've got 3 absolutely fantastic down coats, proper, duck down, which to anyone who doesn't really know what down is, it's feathers from ducks and other uh, animals, and I'm not a big fan of wool actually because it's itchy and I don't really find it that. And I've got a 13.5 tog, huge king size down duvet, and that combined with an electric blanket, you might die of the heat, but you won't be dying of the cold. And there's many a morning where I would sit here right in this chair with my down coat on and think nothing of it. I've watched these things now and again. These documentaries where, like, typically, like, sort of things like Channel 4 go and see these pensioners, and they're sat there in like normal clothing in the middle of the winter, saying like we're cold. No wonder you're cold. You can easily get like there's one stuff. It's like army surplus. It's called snug pack. I think I've got some trousers snug pack, and you'll never get cold in them. You might get too hot, but you'll never get cold. And I would actually easily be able to live in the UK without any heating during the winter there, because it's not cold. I mean, you're only going to die when it's less than about 3 degrees, which is very little of the winter. I might be wrong there on them temperatures, but like I've always worked in the elements and in Scotland and everywhere else, which it's absolutely blue. But you can keep warm. And if you've got a good hat, I've got like a hat here which is too hot. You can only wear it when it's -20 and below. It's like it's a proper not fox, wolf. It's wolf skin, real wolf skin. I bought it actually bought it on Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin, and it's a real wolf skin hat, and you can't wear it half the time. You can't wear it until it's like less than -15, -20, because it's too hot. So anyone who's like saying you're going to die of the heat, you need to do a bit of research. And I'm sorry to sound a little bit like dismissive of these people complaining about like they're gonna die. I mean, why would you want to die when you can get really, really hot clothing? And this duvet I've got, you like overheating all the time. It's red hot, and with an electric blanket, I didn't use one last winter. I think I mentioned that, and I've got like a wood burner. I can turn an electric fire on now and again. I do that when it's not cold enough to put the electric wood burner. When it's not cold enough to put the wood burner on, I use the 1 bar on this electric fire, and you could have a little gas heater as well. But I don't like the gas because it's kind of it forms condensation, gas heaters, if they're not like with a flue, which is the central heating. If it's a standalone heater, it makes me drowsy as well. It causes condensation. So I had one of them, but I've got rid of it. But I can turn the gas in emergency. I can turn the gas cooker on. So that's that, and the clothing. It really is about layers, and there's no need to be cold to the point of death. There really isn't, especially in the UK. That's ridiculous to say that. And if people are dying, it's because like they're either not being informed properly, or they're just kind of getting caught out and getting cold, and like maybe falling asleep and not waking up in the cold, because you can get cold if you're in those conditions. But there's no need to. I'll do another video on my clothing and bedding and the way I keep warm here in down to -30, and it's not difficult really if you get yourself informed. I also, I mean, if I was in a real emergency, which with this duvet I've got, it's a down duvet. I think actually got it from IKEA, and they're not expensive, and it's actually a real down duvet, and it weighs a ton, and it's really it's incredible. It's incredibly warm, You don't need any heating during the night, even when it's at the very coldest, So I'll show you a few of my down jackets in that, but like you get the idea, and especially the hat. But like I've got one down jacket which has got a beautiful hood on, and it's like soft lined inside, and you may find me sat here with the hood up. And I like scarves as well. Scarves are good. You can pull them over. I just have them just below there, like that. And it's really snug then. Snug as a bug in a rug. And keep your feet warm as well. I've got these snow boots. I don't really like wearing them in the house, but I'll have I like faux fur blankets, like this one on the chair here. You can actually wrap that round you as well, and it's really warm, and it's only make believe fur, but it's really nice to have around your feet and your legs. And I kind of just bought the material for these. These are like just throws. They're not really purpose-made blankets. It was just this material that I bought in the UK many years ago. So I hope this helps, and I hope I'm not being too dismissive. And if you have got older people, get them dressed up properly. They're sat there in like almost summer clothing, and saying that they're going to die of the cold. And there's no need whatsoever, and you don't have to be all bulked up. But like, I don't know, when you see these reports on people who are frail and they can't afford to switch the heating on, they're sat there in like inadequate clothing. Times change, and like the heating's expensive. You've got to look after yourself. You don't expect the government to come round, start like putting warm clothing on. Get real. Look after yourself, Get real. And there's no need, especially in the UK, there's no need for anyone freezing to death at all. And if you've got old people, go look after them. Go round and get some layers on them, and get them out of these ridiculous clothes that they wear during the winter, which aren't winter clothes. I've seen them on these documentaries and they're sat there, and they put these ridiculous little blankets over them. That's not going to keep you warm. You need to be dressing like you're going up up Everest, and you'll never get cold. You'll get warm, but you won't you'll never get cold enough to die. Not with the stuff I wear. Right, okay, so I'll do another video now, and I'll show you all the stuff I use to keep warm during the winter. And my mainstay actually is a wood burner, and I know that's not practical in the UK and many properties and apartments and whatever, but there's one guy I've just been watching. He's on about these infrared heaters. They look pretty good, actually. I know they use them in Russia a lot. Infrared panels, and they swear by them in Russia, and that's where it's cold. So they're the people you want to be listening to, isn't it? People in cold countries, and I live in the cold here, and I love the winters. But you've got to be dressed up properly, And could I live without the heating here? Maybe it'd be difficult. It would be difficult. But in the UK, absolutely, definitely, absolutely, definitely. And when I was in Scotland working outside, it was the chill. The wind chill factor was working right on the River Tay in Dundee, and that's cold with a capital C. That is cold, and like at night, I couldn't turn the heater on in my little flat because it was so warm compared with outside, But it did used to wrap up there indoors, But anyway, that's just another little aside. But yeah, so listen to people and get wrapped up properly. Don't get wrapped up like in these like at Marks and Spencer's, like a kind of jacket which you play bowls in and stuff like that. You've got to get your stuff out. You've got to get your down, and I would say it again, down, 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 down coats, down hats if you can get them. Well, I wear the wolfskin, but I can't even wear that after some. But I've got another few which are faux fur, and they're really good with the ear flaps, which are quite comfortable to wear inside actually. But I find one of the coats that I've got, the down coats, it's very soft on the body, and the hood is absolutely fantastic, and you can tell that when you take it off the hood, it's instantly your head freezes, That's how good it is. It's down, and it's not uncomfortable or anything like that. And sometimes I'll sit there. I have like frugal competitions with myself, how long I can last without turning the wood burner on, or lighting the wood burner. Sorry. During the day, and I usually always get to midday, and then I cave in and put it on, and then that's good then, because I can keep it going and right when I go to bed. And I also have sand batteries, which you put them on the top of the wood burner, and it's just a tin with sand in, but they retain the heat and let it go slowly throughout the night. And I put them over by the bed at the end of the night, because the wood burner, it gets cold pretty quickly actually, because it's just steel. But these sand batteries retain the heat for a bit. I'm just in the process of making some more actually for this winter, because they're good, and it keeps like heat. It lets the heat go very slowly. And I've got There's all sorts of things you can do to keep warm. And water, actually, you can heat water up. If you've got a wood burner, like water is a very good retainer of heat. I think that's better than sand, actually. But I'm not sure if the sand lets it go slower. So, yeah, but you can heat water throughout the day and just put it anywhere in big. If you've got these massive pans, which they sell in these Eastern European countries, if they're not too heavy, you get the medium-sized one that you can lift easily when it's red hot, and you can just keep heating them up all day, and it all adds to the heat of the room, you know. So there's a few tips, but that's my opinion. No one should be dying. No one. People should be either getting educated themselves, or young people or younger people who are watching these videos, get these people, get the old people properly kitted out. And I tell you what's good, the ski suit, I know it's a bit difficult if you're old. Getting in and out of a ski suit it's very difficult. So maybe that's for slightly younger people. All-in-one suits. I have like onesies, and like I find them a little bit uncomfortable, but to get in and out of all the time. And but I do wear them occasionally. Onesies. You can picture it. But when it gets really cold, you know, if it's the only option, get into the onesie. But don't die, kids. Don't die. That's not the option, and you don't have to. Not in the UK. Absolutely. Okay. Cheers.